Find the exact value of cosecant tangent inverse -2. So cosecant tangent inverse, we cannot convert tangent inverse into cosecant inverse. So we need to assume something. This is an angle. Tangent inverse of -2 will give us an angle. So let's say that's theta. So let theta be tangent inverse of -2. That means when we take tangent both sides, we get tangent of theta will be -2, and this theta, the range for this one is always in between -pi/2 to pi/2. That means this tangent theta should be either in first quadrant or fourth quadrant. So here -pi/2 here, or here pi/2. So based on this, tangent is -2, we can draw a right triangle, and from there this would be just cosecant theta. Then when we have a right triangle with angle theta, then we can easily determine cosecant theta. Okay, so negative means you should be on the fourth quadrant. So from here, the right triangle here, so this is angle 90 degree, and this is the angle theta. Okay, so -2. So we are working on this triangle, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. -2 means -2/1. Okay, we can think -2/1, and this is opposite adjacent. So on this triangle, opposite is, this is going downward, so we can put -2 there, and adjacent is 1. Now we need hypotenuse C, A, B, C, and the relationship between these three sides is a squared, 1 squared 1, -2 squared, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So -2 quantity squared is +4 equals c squared. So 1 plus 4, 5 equals c squared. Take a square root both sides, so c is √5, and this is always positive. Now we have all three sides known, and we are supposed to find cosecant theta, because we said this is theta. And cosecant is, by the way, sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosecant theta would be then hypotenuse over opposite. Hypotenuse is c, which is √5 over opposite, that's -2. So negative in the front, 2. So cosecant of this, whatever this is, -√5/2. Okay, and here the same thing, secant of sine inverse. So this is an angle, let's say that theta. So let theta be sine inverse of 2√5/5. And this range, this theta for sine inverse, that theta should be in between -pi/2 to pi/2. And this is positive, that means in the first quadrant. Take sine both sides, so we can write sine theta equals 2√5/5. Okay, now based on this, we can draw a right triangle with angle theta. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so opposite is 2√5, hypotenuse is 5, so we need to find adjacent, and we know that the relationship between these three sides is a squared plus b squared 2√5 quantity squared equals c squared, 5 squared 25. A squared plus, so when we square this, this is 2 squared 4 times √5 squared. √5 squared is just 5, so 4 times 5 is 20, so this will be 20, or you can punch in your calculator, equals 25. Subtract 20 from both sides, we get 5. Take a square root, so a is square root of 5, and this is positive because we have positive, so everything positive. Okay, so we got all three sides known, and if we go back and look at this, this is secant theta. Okay, secant theta. We know that cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So secant is reciprocal of this. So hypotenuse over adjacent. In this case, hypotenuse is 5 over adjacent, that was missing. We just found root 5. 5 over root 5. I mean, this works, but you can definitely simplify. 5 over root 5. We can rationalize the denominator by multiplying this. So 5 root 5 on the top. Root 5 times root 5, just 5 on the bottom. These two cancel. So that leaves root 5. Final.